Hello everybody and welcome back to Oakbridge Farm. So our first job of today is we are getting rid of this pasture. You need to, unless your water tank is filling it up out of the tank when you leave it, it's requiring us to fill it up at least twice a day. And at the minute, every time we sleep and pass through the night, everything is going to empty, bar obviously the food because we've got the meadow. So it is not performing as well as we would like. So we're going to go into here, we're going to find all of our sheep, and we are going to sell these. So sell, and then sell, and then last but not least, sell. Because trying to transfer these into our next pasture would just take forever. So I think it's best we just sell them and then get new ones, replace them. So if we go into construction, and I'm hoping if we just click onto here, let's sell that. That should now clear the whole field of everything, and we will get to where we're going to build the new one. So our new pasture is going to be here. So we're going to go sheep, but we're going to go with the fenceless pasture, but this one doesn't require water, so we want to be that way around, and we just need to be very careful of where the edges are because they're not the most defined. So that's saying it's overlapping with another object. So how far? But then those markers there are just floating ever so slightly. So we may just have a quick bit of a level out just to make sure that the ground is completely smooth for where we want it to be. So there is looking a lot better. So if we place that down there, do you want to customize? Yes please. So which way are we going off first? Okay, we're going off this left pole first. So we want to go to here, and we're going to work our way around the whole field, which shouldn't take too much time. And then just without having the fence to guide us, it is a bit of a challenge to make sure we're going into all the right places. But this wall, that should be fairly straight until here. So, and it shouldn't cost us too much either. So we go into that bit there, we can then go into this corner, like so. It's very hard to see. You can just see there is where we are. Then let's get down. Is this gate going to be open? Going to cause us a problem? I hope not. So let's work our way around this corner. So I'm trying to take in all of the grass that we've got here. Why is that? Right, there we go. So we've got that. And then that's a fairly straight line for so far. I do wonder how much money this is going to cost us to do this. So we go there, here, round our farm shop, which we're going to need to get some more products put into there at some point. Here, and then let's try and get somewhat straight with here, there. Do you want to plant? I didn't even click on anything then. Yes. So has that done it all? I didn't even finalise that off then. But brilliant. So we now have the fenceless husbandry. We're just going to have to smooth that little bit off there. Smooth. Like so. And then let's get, I think we should make it look a bit neater here. So I'll just quickly do that. And there we have it. So if we go out of this menu, we'll go have a look at our new pasture. So that's taken in the whole of the field. So let's visit. We're going to use these stores here so we can start bringing grass bales or hay bales down into here, and it also gives us storage for the wool so we can start taking that over in lumps. So I need to just find, there's the trigger. So what are we going to go for, and how many can we get in it? So we can get 556. So I'm thinking we do half and half maybe. Get some goats and then get some sheep. It's that, or we look at field should we go here? Let's just have a look at this field here. Or we can go into here and we can put another pasture in, which then we can then put our very own goats, because we still have these buildings just here, so they're fairly local. It's fairly accessible. The only thing we may need to look at is just putting a gate across here, just so that we can use another fenceable pasture. We also have a chicken pen here. But let's have, if we go into here, I know there's a lot of messing around at the minute, but this is before we move into our next month. So, was it trees or plants sculpting? No, I think it was here, fencing. Let's go, I'm sure it was down at the bottom. Okay, that was before I put the new mod in to different prices. Here we go. So if you click on the hedge and then go, I think it's M and N to get where we want to be. So land not owned by us. So we can, that's a good sign, we can put a gate in here to then make this into another fenceable pasture, which that may be the way to go. So let's have a look. How much is field 30? Oh, do we need to buy 40 as well? Where's field? Okay, so that goes to, we're on the boundary there, so we own that. And then you get that, but you don't own this. How do you get that bit of grass? There's a bit of grass here, which if you look, right, we may have to buy both of them, so that's 4,000 and 27,000. But before we do that, let's just finish off our sheep enclosure. And there we have it, we have our sheep back. So, next job, we need to go load a trailer up, bring some grass bales over here. I think we can bring them all over here now, because we don't need them over at the other farm. And then we can start filling these lot up with food. The only thing that's annoying is you can see exactly where I've clicked down to do the boundary for the pasture. That's the only thing that I would say is a bit like, meh. But if that's all I can complain about or whinge about, I will quite happily take that. So we'll just reverse onto here. Hopefully I can get it at this angle. There we go. We'll take this to our bale storage and we will unload and then start loading this trailer up and take it to our sheep. Okay, is that too heavy for it? So we may just have to, let's take that off, and I think we'll take this to the field and then we'll put the case on instead and see if that works better. Hopefully we'll have better luck with this one. I don't quite know why it did that. I would imagine it should be able to take it all, but anyways. Well, the case is working absolutely fine, so we'll take this over to the sheep. Let's try, that seems to be struggling as well. That's rather interesting. But yeah, we'll take this over to the sheep and we'll hopefully finish this, well, we will finish this time lapse and get the sheep fed and get some of this into our barn. And there we have it, we're now all up and running. I don't actually know how much food these sheep, this pasture will hold now. So, sheep, Oh, that's brilliant. 20,000 litres. The meadow grass should come next month. So that's brilliant. Then we've got all that there as storage. Whilst we're here, I don't know whether do we go and buy that now or do we hold off and do it slightly later on. I think it may be worth, because there isn't too much to do in this episode. So let's buy that one. Now we have that, I want to look at, do we buy, we might as well just buy that. And once I've bought that, let's go into here, so construction. We want to do the gate, just to make that so it's a bit more realistic as it were. So we should be able to go from here. Right, let's just set it back a bit more. From there to there, opening inwards, so we now have a gate. What I am going to look at is I am not too fussed about this chicken coop, this chicken pasture. So we can sell, get rid of that. We don't need that. And then, does that mean this fence, can we sell this? How do we get into demolition mode B? We might as well open all this up for us. So that bit of fence can go. This bit of fence can all go. That would be brilliant. And then we could even, to make life, will that make life a bit easier for us if we take that out as well, and then we can drive straight through. But until we do that, we will go into here. It's sheep. We'll get this same pasture, which wants to be that way around. And we can look at putting this in. Which way around are we going to go with this? That's definitely the flattest part of the yard. So if we just leave it, is there an undulation there? There is. Right, I think this is going to take a bit of work as well, just to get this flat, so we can have all this sort of usable area. And there is now goat pasture. So it's surprising just how much land you don't own up here. So this bit of land must all be incorporated with this bit of land. So the fence just must be in the wrong place, but it doesn't matter in the slightest. So we will get some goats into here, and I'm still trying to figure out what's best to do with this fence, because it would be quite nice if we did take it out. It means we can store into here, and we can also get bales out at the same time, so we're not flitting too much between the two. And with it being sheep and goats, I don't think it will matter too much. They're mixing. So we're saying that if we go construction, can you get rid of this junk here? Enter demolition mode. No, I don't think so, unless there is something over on this side that you've got to click or press. I don't want to get rid of the sheds, so it can't get rid of that. So I think we'll just take this shed out, and then for the time being, bales, we can get bales from this way. So that will just make life a lot easier for us, I would imagine. So we can get 141 goats in here. But do we go for, I think let's go, if we go for there, we want to look at, so 3 months, 308. We don't want to, that shot up rapidly. I think we want 70. Just to go for now, and then they can breed after that for us. So if we go 70, let's buy them, and here we go, we have our goats. I love that. That is brilliant. That is something that I am very, very big for in this game. So whilst we're here, we can now have a look at our goats, and it's quite nice with it being a slightly smaller paddock. You can see them all, which is lovely, because I know with these bigger paddocks you struggle to see quite a few. Now let's see, let's hope none of you escape. That's going to be the big one, isn't it? Right, where is, I want to try and get quite a few of you in a picture, because this will make quite a nice little thumbnail. There we go, that'll do, we will use that. And now, I didn't want to bore you with loading up the grass or the feed trough, so I did do that just off camera very, very quickly for you all. But we can now go and sleep and see what... Oh, hello. We can now go and sleep, so visit. And I don't know why I feel so high up in the air at the minute. I don't know what's gone on there, but yeah, I feel like a giant. And there, our camera seems to have gone back to normal now, which is quite nice. I have just rented the, if we find it, for a bit of a change, the Fendt Vario 211V in the Black Beauty, because we're going to have to start doing some olive work. So if we go, I think the easiest thing to do would be to find the Fendt again. Combinations, we would like this. Do we just buy it? I think we buy that because it's not too much money. And now we have that, we can go, because the vineyard will need mulching. And we need to make a start, because I think we've done quite a fair bit of changing up of the farmyard and sorting animals out. And it'll be, oh, I've misjudged that massively. And it'll be interesting to see how much wool we've actually produced by doing that. So with that there, can we, we'll just want to move that so it's sort of central. And we will now get to the olive, well, the olive grove? Is that the correct way? I would imagine so, yeah, olive grove. I think there's also a mini muck spreader, which that could be the best thing to go. So if we go back onto here, I know we're doing a lot of flicking around at the minute. So that, I think if we get that, we could then start using manure. But if we don't use that, I am toying with seeing if we can, it may be a bit of a cheat for some, but we did start off with the Amazon spreader, which I am thinking that if we got that back again, if we could fit down these rows with it, we could fairly easily get a good spread going over. And I think that would be very, very handy. Now, why is it saying for me, did I go on the middle of the vineyard then? Show lines, automatic, why is it putting me down the middle? So I can't seem to figure out why it's putting me to go down the middle of the vineyard. So it may be worth us just having to freehand this. I know one thing though, we do not want these lines on. So let's go back onto here then if we're having to do this by freehand. Turn that off and we will get cracked on. Hopefully without too many crashes. So we're just on the final pass now of the olive grove, and then that will be the whole thing mulched. Just doing that, I'm thinking we do need to get a shed so that we can start storing sort of these smaller, because I'm thinking if we keep buying these smaller implements before we buy, which will most likely be the Fendt, before we buy the Fendt for it. So if we got a small enough shed, which I'm thinking would go in that corner up there, but I don't want to put one in just yet because I'd rather get the maize off. There's no point losing that considering we've drilled it all. And then yeah, that can be for all our vineyard equipment, because whether we're able to buy the harvester in this Let's Play will be that would be fairly interesting. I'd like to think we could get there at some point, but that is all in time. But here we go, the final little bit. Brilliant. So that is now off. We can go, we'll take this back up to the top and we'll drop this implement off. And then for the final thing of the episode, I think it may be worth investing into a skid steer, We haven't had one yet, and I think it may be worth having and leaving it down at the goats and sheep, and where the goats and sheep are. Because with that many sheep, I think they'll be producing a lot of wool, and it may become a daily job to have to keep emptying the spawn point. And especially with, we're doing a lot of messing around today, I know that. If we go to the spinnery, they only have 5,000 litres left. So let's just go have a quick look at our sheep. So yes, if we were to leave that for another day, the spawn point would be full, I would imagine. And we'll just have a quick ride over to the goats. Are they producing? Okay, so they're too young at the minute to produce goat's milk. So we go into here, skid steers. We either go small or we go big. There's a fair weight difference, so I am favouring to go for this. I need to also be very conscious of, if we look at the calendar, so canola's ready to harvest next month. The wheat and barley will be the month after that, so we do need to have enough money to lease a harvester. But what do we have here? Do we have anything here? So we've got planks. Planks want to be sold this month, so that's almost paying for our skid steer. And then what else is there? So we are in July. So do we have anything to sell? No. I think we'll be fine, especially if we keep the BGA. Okay, we need to get stuff to the BGA as well. So let's go get this skid steer, and then we can start moving stuff around. And buy. We now want to get back combinations. We want the pallet fort for it. Which do we get it red as well, like the Kubota? Where's Kubota red? They must have Kubota red. Do they not have Kubota red? Okay, we won't. We'll just keep it as normal. So buy that. We're now down to 50,000, but once we sell the planks, we will be back up to 100. Let's turn that on, and this is going to be 7 miles an hour. It is very sensitive steering. We are now going to get this down to the sheep pen. I need to concentrate. I was looking down at my controls. We'll get this down to the sheep pen, which will take a while, and that will probably be the end of the episode once we've moved the wool. Well, next time we're moving this, we need to make sure we load it onto a tractor and a trailer, because that was fairly painful, I think is the easiest way to put it. Oh, hello. Okay, so when you turn, so you don't need to be driving to turn with this. It's one of the first times I've used one. I'm hoping it should be quite a nice little experience. I know the New Holland was a lot cheaper to buy, but I just think once we get to the milk, the goat's milk, and moving stuff around, I'd rather not be worrying about us flipping over backwards. I also know the telehandlers here, but we've just crashed into it. But I'd like to keep that over at the main farm, the livestock farm, and then this can just stay under one of these barns here, and its sole job will be keeping our spawn points free, and then loading up trailers as and when we bring them down, which that'll be another thing, to find a trailer to bring trailers as and when we bring them down, so that we can load them up and get it to the spinnery. Because like what we've got here, this will all have to go to the spinnery. Not this episode, but it will be in the next one. Especially whilst we've got the case down here with the trailer as well. So it does make a lot of sense to do that as one of our first jobs. Because we've also got planks to sell, which stupidly I forgot to put. Oh, hello. This is very sensitive. I forgot to put our little stacker truck onto the trailer when I moved it in the previous episode. So we will have to go and get that back. Can we sneak down here? And the hope is, if we do these, put these on top, without driving into the side of the shed, we should be able to move 4 at a go. And this is one of the reasons why... Oh, this steering is so sensitive. Let's just go slightly... Right, that's going to have to do. I'm not going any more than that. Right, let's reverse. We can now put them all on, ready for the next episode. Will it lift it? Brilliant, it will do. So that is amazing. So what we are going to do now, though, is I am going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video. Please do feel free to give us a like and subscribe, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.